Let me just basically say how impressed I am with Ethereum, full stop, period. And that when I think about this as a regulator, I think of it almost analogized to email versus the internet. If Bitcoin is email, a one-trick pony, so to speak, but obviously revolutionary, Ethereum goes far beyond that. It's more like the internet.
We're going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
This effort. And China has big plans for this. They intend to seed their digital yuan into the global environment by giving it away to visitors at next winter's Olympics. When they arrive at the airport, they're going to get yuan digital wallets. They're going to receive digital yuan. They're going to use it throughout their visits to Beijing, and then they're going to take it back to their home countries. They see this as a huge advantage. Why? Because who controls the underlying protocols, who controls the underlying standards of the future of money will control the future of money.
Guest on the latest edition of Bloomberg Studio 1.0. We spoke about the future of decentralized finance, the threat to legacy companies like Facebook and Twitter, and could we soon see the end of Ethereum mining? Take a listen as I ask for his thoughts on well-known crypto skeptics like Jamie Dimon and Warren Buffett and more.
A lot of them have definitely been just wrong already, right? They expected even back in 2013 to 15, at least some of them, to see blockchains and cryptocurrency fail and go down to zero in price and just not get any more interest completely. And even today, they've already been far more successful than any of them expected. So I can see how people in traditional finance, or at least some of them, can be inclined to kind of not see the value of blockchain-based finance immediately. There's a lot of people, even in traditional banks, that see the value that blockchains provide and have been trying to come up with things and work with them.
One of them is Jack Dorsey. Jack Dorsey recently announced Square is creating a new business focused on decentralized financial services based on Bitcoin, using Bitcoin. What have you learned about Jack Dorsey's plans? Does it seem like he's building something that sounds a lot like Ethereum?
I'm skeptical about these decentralized finance on top of Bitcoin type of projects. Basically because the difference between Bitcoin and Ethereum, right? This is that on Ethereum, there's native functionality that allows you to essentially directly put either ETH or Ethereum-based assets into these smart contracts, into these lockboxes, where there's then arbitrary conditions of any kind that can then govern how those assets get released. Bitcoin does not have that functionality to the same extent. Jack is basically going to have to essentially create his own system that enforces those rules, and then on the Bitcoin layer, the Bitcoins will just have to be owned by probably a multi-sig wallet controlled by either Jack or the participants in the system. It looks similar, but it'll end up being something with a much weaker trust model. Right, I really think that this is the whole reason why Ethereum started as an independent system in the first place, right? There's technical limits to your ability to kind of graft new functionality onto a system that's not powerful enough to support that new functionality.
Facebook's Mark Zuckerberg is also making some big moves behind the metaverse, and what do you make of them wading into this decentralized world? Could they replicate some of the same problems that we see in Facebook and Twitter today?
I think Mark is clearly trying to figure out what the next stage after the internet is and actually get into it and create it. but before the rest of the world goes in some different direction, and Facebook is sort of left in the dust and becomes one of these kind of previous generation old world companies. So we've seen Facebook try to get into the crypto space with Libra, though. I think in the end, like, Libra did end up being possibly the wrong approach, because, like, the problem that someone like Facebook has, right, is that a lot of people mistrust them, and so building their own platform, like, I know they tried really hard to create something that's a consortium with all these different industry participants, but at the same, like, even that was not enough, right? And there's just a huge amount of mistrust of them. But with the metaverse, I guess the thing that happened during the pandemic is that we've basically very quickly switched from a world where the physical world was people's kind of primary center of experience, and the internet was this new add-on, to a world where the internet really is the center of people's experiences. And so we basically are spending most of our time in a virtual world, and the question is just, like, what level of quality does that virtual world have?
So Ethereum in 5 years and 10 years, where is it?
Hopefully running the metaverse, but I guess we'll see how it goes.
You've got a lot of people out there, a lot of people who are trying to understand cryptocurrency, who are placing their bets. What's your prediction for Bitcoin? Does it replace the dollar? Does it exist in 50 years, or is it something else? And then similarly, what's your prediction for Ethereum? Because a lot of investors are choosing to hold both, or one or the other.
I think replacing the dollar completely is unlikely, just because, like, there's things that the dollar provides, like price stability, for example, that Bitcoin is not going to provide. Like, I think even in a theoretical world where the US dollar collapses, like, even then, I think Bitcoin is not going to be able to provide the level of stability that users and businesses expect to be able to set prices in. And in that kind of world, look, we would need something else. Like it could be decentralized stable coins, it could be something else, but we'll see. But at the same time, I think cryptocurrency can still have a very powerful and important role alongside existing currencies.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And guys, I come back with that video just to make you think. And don't forget, the old CFTC chairman stated that Ethereum is the internet. And what did we hear from Vitalik? He's working on the metaverse. Because, guys, what they want to do is start off with virtual currencies. That's the reason why Facebook is so important, because they're going to take the masses into a virtual world. Where you're sitting there working 40 to 60 hours, putting in your sweat and equity for some digital money. That is correct, guys. And not only that, remember what David from R3 stated. To boost the economy, we can airdrop this free money. But they have 3 to 6 months or poof, it's gone. We know Ethereum is going to change everything that we do. Not just DeFi and banking, but everything that we do. But the key is that the system is not built for humanity. It's to take humanity out the picture. So robots, drones, algorithms will be able to run this machine without any person involved. And Bitcoin Lightning is looking more and more like that global payment system for the machines. Because we know when it comes to the New World Order, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids' books. I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York. From COVID Stories 3. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.